Welcome
Welcome, everybody.
to the commentary for The Mormons Are Coming. I'm Mike Hicks,
I'm Glen Warren.
or pretentiously also known as Michael David Charles Hicks. I wrote and directed this.
I'm just the star.
And
No
yeah,
big deal.
the most notable thing I would say is that I wrote this when I was in college for a project, and I was supposed to pitch it, and I did pitch it to try to get picked to be made as one of this class's short films. Unfortunately, it did not get picked, even though the professor said it was his favorite script. Not to brag or anything, he said it was his favorite. But I think, the script was a bit ambitious. We couldn't have really done it. But yeah, what was that? 3-4 years later, maybe 5 years later, 3 years later, Glen persuaded me after we made blocks.
After many months of pressure, we finally got together on this.
And rewrote it so we could actually do it on a budget of just buying pizza for everyone involved every now and then.
Yeah, and how are the names? How did you come up with the names for this? Because Glen was ironically Glen in this movie.
The characters Glen and Charlie were both named after actors, and
take a moment to just appreciate this intro. Oh.
Ooh.
All right.
Anyway, Glen and Charlie were named after Glen Howerton and Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And if you really pay attention, their characters kind of reflect Charlie and Dennis from It's Always Sunny. Ashley is because for some reason, that's just my go-to female name whenever I write. Yeah. And then Elder Bridge and Brown, the Mormons, are actually named after my college friends, Kevin Bridge and Ray Brown. Yeah, they're the...
All right. Yeah.
They're the two Mormons. That's how I got those names.
Yeah, you can definitely see coming up now the contrast that is when Charlie Day and Glen. Me as Glen, I definitely portray Glen pretty well, and Josh crazy as Charlie Day.
You weren't as you were a ladies' man, but you weren't like a womanizer like Dennis is.
Yeah.
Charlie was definitely crazy. I mean, not like rum ham crazy or toe knife crazy.
Yeah.
But I love that entrance popping up. Actually, our director of photography, John Costantino, I actually went to college with him, and he was there when I pitched it. And luckily, he lived close enough, even though that was in Florida, where he could help us out with it. I'm really glad. John, I love you. I miss you.
We all miss you, John.
And you did a fantastic job. Even though most of the lighting was, natural, but still.
We did what we could.
Yeah.
And definitely paid off in the end.
Yeah.
And in Ashley, we see there was really hard to cast in Ashley because as soon as most girls heard about this movie, they were like, religious beliefs, even though this movie wasn't really making fun of religions in particular.
Yeah.
We were just having a fun time with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also found out there's a kissing scene with me.
Which is not romantic at all.
No, it's kissing. We didn't even kiss is the best part.
Well, no, you could kiss at the end. But regardless, this whole thing was not meant to, make fun of Mormons. In fact, Mormons are cool in my book.
No, they definitely are.
Shay Carl's one of my favorite YouTube people. I don't watch him too much anymore, but I got a lot of respect for Mormons. This was more so made because I have an irrational fear of Mormon missionaries. Because one time...
well, I think this scene right here just pursued that real quick. You just murdered somebody.
One time, Mormons came to my door when I was in Florida, and they're so nice, I couldn't just tell them to leave. Like, I have a problem telling them to leave. Jehovah's Witnesses I had no problem with because they were jerks. Not all Jehovah's Witnesses, but the Jehovah's Witnesses that came to my door were jerks. But all the Mormons that came to my door were super nice, and I missed the entire NHL Winter Classic one year because I was just talking to them because they were so nice and I didn't want to tell them to leave.
Well, I mean, this scene right here just perfectly sums up what would happen if you did neglect them. That scene actually was the first day of shooting, and that bug was unintentional.
Yeah.
It's a bug.
Yeah, that was my actual reaction to it. But yeah, the whole thing is just my irrational fear of just people coming to the door in general was kind of sparked by Mormons.
Totally.
I'm not a fan of uninvited guests.
Back to the lighting in this movie here. I think, what'd you say? We only used one, like, unnatural light? Everything else?
We used two. One at the top of the stairs to
Yes.
kind of simulate moonlight, which, I mean, you can't even really notice. But in this was just to add kind of like a dreamlike state.
Yep.
Because I originally I didn't have a window, but obviously the door to that apartment had a window, so we kind of had to roll with it. And I thought just shining a bright light would suffice.
I mean, it worked out well enough. For
This is my favorite scene, by the way.
Yeah, this definitely.
You and Josh have a great chemistry here.
Yeah, I did the best I could in the background. I know you're focusing right now on Josh's character, but in the background, if you just look at me, I'm doing just subtle little details to try to express the situation a little bit better.
And just the way this is shot, that's my favorite scene.
Oh, yeah.
Just, John did a really good job at helping me break down shots and framing shots and all that. Because, again, in the script, there was no stairs originally because I wrote it from my apartment in Florida, which didn't have stairs. Just another roll with the punches we had to do.
See, if you look real closely, if you look on Josh's neck right now, it's he's sweating. It's dangerously hot in that apartment.
It was so hot in that apartment. It was so hot that we would look forward to when we took lunch breaks or like air breaks in 90-degree weather because it was hotter in there than 90-degree humid weather.
Because we had all the windows blocked off with trash bags to try to get the nighttime going on.
But with the windows blocked off for night, there was no air conditioning. We couldn't have fans on because of noise. Bitches. That's my favorite line.
Here comes Jesus. But yeah, definitely the situation in the apartment was just incredibly just drastic. Yeah.
But everyone did a great job.
Yeah, look at all that.
Kept a pretty good spirit. Kept a pretty good spirit up when we had to. It really only became a problem towards the end when we were all tired and we knew we were close to being done anyway.
Make a move. All right, Ashley, you're gonna run in front of Charlie and I.
For how hot it was, there was a surprising lack of sweat on everyone.
You could see little details,
a little bit, but it's not like dripping,
I think it's because we kept taking breaks because it was so hot that we just cooled down a minute. And this is probably one of my favorite parts right here is when I finally get to knock you out.
I'm not a fan of the way we shot it, but it's again.
And then look, you've got all the sweat there. But anyway,
it's because I'm fat.
This is actually my idea coming up right about now with the 300 slow motion scene. Because we couldn't figure out a way to just shoot that and make it all right, so that was the best idea.
I mean, the throwing of the Book of Mormon was always part of it. But.
Yeah, but we didn't know just how to shoot it.
And I tried so many different songs, not that anyone really cares, but Moonlight Sonata was just perfect for this. I had to use it.
Oh no, it definitely was perfect.
Luckily, it was in public domain.
Heck yeah. And this scene right here was just a terrible time for me. Because we tried to make different concoctions of blood. Mm-hmm. One of the concoctions was soap and dye, which didn't end greatly because in this scene right here we have an outtake, not obviously right now, but I'm coughing up blood as you see, but during a different outtake, I coughed up bubbles instead because of the soap.
I told you didn't need to do the soap either.
But right here also sucked because we did this scene at least 20 times, and Josh is nailing me in the chest with his hand.
I can't even remember why we did it so many times.
Because, I don't...
Josh
was
or
off. Something.
But
that
this is the only air-conditioned room in the entire...
Yeah.
We had the air conditioning on.
We took breaks, turned it on, turned it off. And tell me about this scene here. Did you have to do anything crazy with it, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was always part of this whole intimidation speech was always part of the script. Me and John both didn't want to be in this. He and I are both better behind the camera.
Yeah.
But because of lack of resources and people, we both had to be in it. And.
I mean, you guys definitely just did very well, especially
I just don't
you definitely, like me and Josh did. You guys contrasted so well. Like you're evil, John, as you see back there, pointing, being very jokey, not even trying to.
Yeah, for me personally, I just don't like seeing myself on camera, unless it's candid, like with KFR. Then it's fine. But I just don't like seeing myself.
Yeah, like right here's another moment where John's just being being evil, and John's just like, hey.
Yeah, there's a reason that I chose writing and directing. Is I'm much better behind the camera. I'm much better with constructing a story and shooting a story than I am with acting. I wouldn't say
there's nothing wrong with that, but
and then this scene, originally what the script entailed was a bright light would fill the apartment and the whole apartment would shake. But obviously, on a micro budget, we couldn't really do that. I mean, there's probably ways we could have, but there are techniques that I'm not really a fan of.
This was also the very last day. And,
this was the very last day.
John was moving to Pittsburgh, and we just had to get wrapped.
So this song was kind of weaker compared to the rest of the movie, and that's also me just not liking acting and me when I act.
But for what it was and what we the tight schedule that we had, it turned out not too bad.
Overall, during it felt torturous. You know me, I hate waking up early.
Oh yeah.
I can't go to bed early.
And I had no choice. I had roommates that had to also be up early in the morning, just like myself.
Yeah. So I'm not. It was good for what we had to do and when we had to do it.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, I had a great time shooting.
Oh no, it was definitely one of the best
one of those
times.
Situations where during it you're just like, oh come on.
Yeah.
But
looking back on it, it was definitely a solid.
We
time.
shot once a week for 6 or 7 weeks straight. Every day was 8 to 10 hours. You can see the blood right there.
Yeah.
It was just. It would have been better if we had air conditioning.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing. If air conditioning was a factor, this whole thing would have been probably easier for all of us. Man. You see all that white in my hair, people? It's really hard to get all that white, considering my hair is dark and light at the same time.
Yeah. In sunlight, you could definitely tell.
Oh, yeah.
But with the darker lighting, without any lights to really bounce off of it, it just looked gray.
Yeah. Of this whole movie, this scene right here is probably
special effects by my friend Devin Long.
Heck yeah, Devin. This is probably my least favorite acting wise for me, mainly because I think we were just really tired.
Yeah, this was the last scene we shot.
And then all this blood on me now, I just started getting cranky. I didn't portray very angry like I wanted to, but again, for what it was and what time we had, it turned out better than I thought it would. Not saying that it wasn't going to be good, but just saying.
Go back to my room.
Also, that money shot of the blood, that was a one take and one take only, and it turned out very well.
Yeah, the cup the cup that had the blood got into the shot.
Yeah.
So we had to crop it out and mask it out and all that. So there's a bunch of sound effects in this scene, such as bees and horses, machine guns.
Just different ways of
and
torture.
A little nod to the Wicker Man with Nick Cage. He says, "Is that bass?
Not the bass."
I actually, that was one of the last sound effects I recorded was me screaming, and I did it in the parking lot of my apartment complex in my car, because they're kind of like little sound booths. No. But I can only imagine if anyone was walking by hearing it, they're like, "What the hell is going on?"
It's okay.
Going back to me being absolutely cranky, I'm soaked in blood. This hot apartment, and right there's a little Easter egg. Mormons Are Coming. It's been up on the fridge the whole movie. If you guys didn't notice, you do now. But yeah, this is the last shot basically. Shit indeed, Josh. Shit indeed. So yeah, that was the Mormons Are Coming.
Originally, I had it ending with Girl Scouts coming to the door and Charlie losing his shit on them because, again, Girl Scouts, I don't like saying no to them. And he had initially had a bunch of lines referring to his fear of Girl Scouts, and it was a really funny ending, but we had to cut it because obviously, if I had to be in the movie, we had problems getting people, let alone little 10-year-old Girl Scout girls that were.
Which, if we didn't have the time restraint, we definitely could have done it, but because of that, we were forced to deal with what you just saw, which wasn't bad, but
for a budget of $0.
Hold on. What's Oh, look at that, an Easter egg. As you see, I'm bloody, and I just throw my hand in the popcorn. Not my blood, also, by the way. So now you see them being very grossed out,
Yeah.
and me
You can
being obnoxiously
A little
happy.
daylight coming through the curtain there.
Oh yeah.
This was
See-
actually the last thing we shot.
Also, right there, you could definitely see where how white my hair was.
Yeah.
Not in the light bulb lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So that was the Mormons
was
Are
Mormons.
Coming. Thanks for watching the little commentary we had. Yeah. If you want to see the non-commentary version, if you haven't, I don't know why you watch this entire thing without watching it. But there's a little thing.
Somewhere.
Check it out.
We can't point at it, but
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah.
Just click on that. Enjoy it, and thanks for listening / watching, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.